best friends, got each other's back. We used to cruise around with a bass to the max. Everyone in school, while I was in the lab, cooking up some beats that would turn into tracks. High school chillin', I was on a mission. I had bigger dreams of being a musician. Teachers always talked, but I couldn't seem to listen. I lived in a fantasy land, they called it fiction. But I was gonna be big one day, playing shows on the road to a sold out stage. Nobody really cared or believed I would make it anywhere close, I would fail and fade. But that's cool, I love that, cause any little doubt gives me energy back. And now, I'm in a place where I'm glad I never gave up on the dreams I had. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. Yeah, let's go. So if you want something big, you gotta swing fast, swing hard and commit. You might miss 10 times, but when you hit, just make sure that you get all of it, okay? People at the top took risks. Investing and testing is all that they did. It's not complicated, it just takes grit. So never give up, take a swing at it. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 117. I'm here with my guys, Cosette Gladney, Rios from the Just Finished Podcast. Blaze will pop in momentarily, I believe. How you guys doing?
I hate college basketball.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, hey, what can you do? That guy caught on fire. God, I forget his name. Walter something.
Walter Clayton.
Walter Clayton, yeah. He definitely upped his draft stock. Definitely. My God. Coach, how'd you feel about March Madness? Let's just talk about that now. It's one of the topics.
Sounded like it was a good tournament for the most part. Ended up getting the number ones into the Final Four, which is, not normal. You always have some lower level teams getting in there. So, turned on the last of the game and I saw it and I was just like, okay. Houston and Florida, two good teams. They are two good teams. So, as far as this year, this actually was the first year I really didn't follow the tournament like I normally do because I didn't do a bracket also. So
yeah, I didn't do a bracket either this year. It felt kind of weird not doing a bracket, I gotta say. Felt really weird and felt refreshing because I didn't have to panic about every single game.
I didn't do one either, and I was stress free until the championship game. I was stress free
until the championship game, right? Yeah, my friend did like 5 or 6 of them, and none of them were correct. I'm like, dude, was that worth your time? He goes, no, I'm not doing it again.
That's where I differ. I mean, it was worth my time because I do it for fun. That's
I do too.
So that's why I don't stress over them. When I do them, it's just my life situation was different this time. Big Baller, what's up? Shot caller.
What's up, people? What's happening?
What is up, Blaze? We're just talking about March Madness and how Florida won. Damn, how Florida won March Madness. How do you feel about it?
Is it Florida or Flo Rida?
Flo Rida.
Flo Rida.
I liked it because it, like I said before the tournament, it introduced me to a lot of new players because, like I've discussed before, I used to follow college a lot closer, but now it's like later in the season I'll catch on to it before madness. So I didn't know as many people. So I found a lot of new favorites and a lot of, great players from St. John's and from Houston and from Florida and from all these different teams, man. I always wanted, because I'm a big bracket junkie. So I used to make the big brackets all the time, and I've always wondered like how many times or when will 4 ones make it to the Final Four, So, and there's, like I said last week and a couple weeks before, there's really no wrong way to do it, because if you get a Cinderella team going, then that's the story, or you finally get 8 out of the 10 top teams playing in the Final 8 or something like that. So it's really good basketball. And it really was. I mean, both Final Four games, you can nitpick if you want, but it was just really good basketball from, I would say, the divisional round down. I mean, going back to before third round, after the second round, when it, all the teams that are lucky they made it were weeded out. And then you look at the bracket, like when you get to the Sweet 16, and it was like, no Cinderella. It was like all the big name teams were there. And I like that because it brought a lot of really good basketball.
Yeah. I love it. Was it like the second time it's ever happened that all 4 number 1 seeds were in the Final Four?
Yeah, what was it, 93, 2003 or 93 or some shit like that a long time ago?
I think it was 2008. But yeah, second time ever something happened.
2008, I think, yeah. It's insane. We got great basketball. We got to see Cooper Flag, and there's a lot of people on ESPN saying like Cooper Flag have one of the greatest.
Got me a Cooper Flag rookie today.
Why?
Because it was in a box of cards that I opened.
Ow! I was like, you're not.
And Coach Ed might like this one. I'm not a big women's basketball fan, but this is my new favorite women's basketball player, Juju freaking Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
Or ACL, man.
And I'm a guy who has a penis who likes women, so I'm gonna say it. She's cute. Her commercials are great, and she's fluid on the court. She doesn't look like a lot of women's basketball players. It's like the baby giraffe syndrome. They don't look as court. She looks so fluid, so coordinated. She's adorable. She doesn't seem like too. I don't know. I don't know her that well, but I like her game.
Too big-headed and cocky.
Yeah, she's level-headed. It seems like more of a level-headed. Yeah. Now we'll see how that goes as she goes into the WNBA and becomes one of the best stars in the world, which I'm pretty sure she will. But I was happy to get the Cooper Flag too, because that's the only card I really wanted out of that. I got a Dylan Harper also, so I'm hoping he does well.
Hey, there you go.
I don't. Yeah, so shout out to Coach Ed. I got my Dylan Harper rookie before he gets drafted. But here's the guy I think that we'll be talking about a lot more in the future. And this is the guy from Duke, that rookie, that freshman, Malu. He just looked so dominant. He looked like a man among boys, like he was playing, like he was a college kid playing with high school kids or something. And it's
like Joel Embiid back at Kansas.
Yeah, exactly. Great comparison, because Embiid had that same form back in Kansas, where it's like, man, this dude looks like he's playing in a league below him, but he's not. And this dude, I think that dude's going to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be a top 5 pick.
Got to remember how he pronounced his name.
Develop his offensive game a little bit and pack on some more muscle.
Yeah, but is he coming out? I don't think he's coming out. I think he's coming back.
Yeah, he should be back. I
thought he was getting drafted this year.
I didn't hear him declare for the draft yet. I think he's
maybe not yet. Maybe not yet, but
I think he's coming back.
Tell that to all the Sixers fans that want him. Tell that to all the Sixers
fans. A lot of fans are going to want him once. I mean, especially if he comes back next year and does the same thing. Plus, a lot more people will know him. Plus, he won't have Cooper Flag over his head, as the man. So he can maybe be the man for the next 2 years if he sticks around.
Yeah, this Duke team is going to have like a couple guys getting drafted this year.
It kills me because I can't stand them, but I respect game.
Yeah. Rios and I were talking. Watch that Cooper Flag, right? He will get drafted by the Wizards, and he will be like, "Nah, I'm going back to Duke." He should not go to the Wizards.
This dude played on the South Sudan national team when he was 16.
Just like Embiid. I mean, like Embiid just started playing
You
basketball.
go
at
back
16.
to Luca too, and Luca playing professionally when he was like 8.
Did you see Lucas return to Dallas?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
Well, the guy never
crowd!
wanted to leave, but Nico Harrison, that's just a war crime that man committed.
Well, now the big
Oh, that's a war crime.
now it's like who the Lakers add next year? Jokic, KD. There's already talk of both of them. I'm seeing all these Joker in Lakers uniform shit, and I got to take
Yeah.
on that when we get to it. But
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. Cooper Flag is like no way. Like
we're not talking
Yeah.
about Cooper Flag. We're
We're
talking
talking
about.
about
I gotta figure out how to pronounce his name first.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher his name. So
I don't want to butcher his name either. He's from the Sudan. It's Kamon Maluak, maybe.
I
Malawak?
still can't pronounce his name.
Well, we will get used to that name because I think he's going to be a star.
Yeah. Actually, let's just go to hold on. I just had the question here of the day. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. I think you guys will pretty much get this one. Which NBA player almost quit basketball to become a garbage man, only to then go on 3 NBA championships and 3 MVPs?
Karl Malone.
No,
He's a mailman, not the garbage man.
I know, I know that. I don't know if you guys.
If I
you
hear
guys-
it, I bet you I'll remember it once I hear it because I think I know the story, but I can't. The name's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it.
Yeah,
I think I've heard this story before.
yeah,
It's not
he played for the Detroit Pistons.
no,
the Celtic.
Okay, that's not him. Okay.
Is it Larry Bird?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Larry
Really?
Bird.
What the hell? I just took a wild guess.
I'm wrong. I was thinking something else, so I will
wouldn't
sit
I would
corrected.
not have guessed that one.
Me either.
Technically, Broken Bell Network got it first. So Larry Bird almost quit to be a garbage man. Let
Thank
that
God he
sink
did
in.
not, 'cause
Back
he-
then,
him
they
and
all
Magic-
needed to have backup plans and real jobs.
Glad he did it because him and Magic saved the NBA.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That
Oh,
whole
yeah.
rivalry definitely saved the NBA for sure. I really like that take. All right. Now we're into the.
That's so funny too because I was just speaking to somebody about, and it was about Bird and Magic because we were talking about the greats, our greats, or our 4 Rushmores, and I was like, well, of course it has to be Bird and Magic because they saved the
Yeah.
NBA. You know, and we had our debate because I said I'm not putting Jordan on mine. So, and he looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, you said it's mine. So, Bird, Magic, yeah, I have to put them on there. I have to do Wilt, so, and I have to do Kareem, but that's me,
I mean,
so."
But you can respect that. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. Right? That's respectable.
Mhm.
See the Larry Bird thing. I was starting to think of it. I was thinking of Brian Scalabrine because he actually looks like a trash. He looks like a garbage man.
White Mamba.
Yeah.
Speaking of Brian Scalabrine, did you ever see him on YouTube play against regular gym guys?
He plays that New York, that legendary New York guy that shoots from like the street and stuff, and he beat him 11-0. He destroyed him.
Yeah, people don't realize even guys that are bench players in the NBA, they are levels above regular people. Basketball, like they don't get it till they witness it in person. I was at the 24-hour fitness a few years back, and DJ Augustine was there. A lot of people didn't know who he was. I know who he was. I was like, "Hey man, can I be on your team?" I didn't want to lose.
When you're on his team,
How good this dude was, and DJ, he's not no scrub either, but like still like a lot, not super well known, but like just straight dominated those guys. And I didn't want to be a fanboy. I knew who he was. I just kind of played it nonchalantly, but I also wanted to be on the team because I didn't want to lose.
were you on his team though?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay, great. So you won. So there you go.
Easily. He did all the work. All I had to do was just pass him the ball.
Mhm. Mhm.
That is just
He was basically
crazy.
Game 6 Jordan out there.
Oh my God. I just gotta ask, how were they guarding him? Trying to guard him, they couldn't. So
No.
what were they trying to do? Double him?
So like a lot of these guys who were playing, they were younger than us because he's
Yeah.
in his 30s. I was in my 30s also, but these guys in their 20s, and they think, they think they were the shit. They thought, oh, no, these old heads can't beat us. Yeah, they learned a valuable lesson that day.
Damn.
It looked like Game 6 Jordan out there. I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, damn, man. We're like, where'd you play? Oh, yeah, I play for the Orlando Magic.
Oh, wow. So, anyone have any rants to go on right now, or we could just skip right to the next topic if you guys don't have any rants?
Well, my rant will be the next topic.
As far as rants,
you don't want to. You Houston?
No, I guess my own, not really a rant, more like a little bit of gloating. I remember before the season started, I said the Rockets are winning 50 games. Maybe not you guys, but like everyone else I told that too. You're crazy. What the hell are you talking about? They're not going to be anywhere near the play, especially Spurs fans. Oh, no, the Spurs are winning, they're going to win the West. They're going to be 50 game winners. Yeah, y'all picking in the lottery because y'all suck. We're picking in the lottery because we have own Phoenix pick who missed the playoffs. So yeah, y'all can suck it.
You also have a broken Nets pick.
Them too.
I think, and I disagree with this take, but I think that the way people look at the Rockets is there's no top tier super duper star. They got a bunch of really great players, a couple looking to break out, but you can't be like, there's no LeBron, Luka, KD. There's no top tier guy, arguably right now, but you don't need that. That's the argument we've had for the past 2 years. The Nuggets and the Celtics are teams that had started Celtics, arguably. I mean, you could say Tatum or Brown, but I don't put them at the elite top tier. I put them just below it.
Yeah, they're all-star level players, but you wouldn't consider them like mega stars. Like they're not, franchise-changing players. They need, a good supporting cast.
But I think that's what the problem with people going into the year for your team we're looking at. They're looking at it and go, well, where's your all-star? Where's your guy that's going to close out the games? Where's your guy? And they're all starting to emerge. Amen Thompson and Sengun and all those guys are there. But I think the reason that people don't put them on a higher level is because they don't have that top tier, one of the best players in the league type of guy, but which you don't really need anymore.
That because a lot of people, they don't really see the Rockets because they don't, for good reason. They weren't very good for years after Harden, so they didn't get a lot of primetime games. So not the average fan hasn't really seen these guys play unless they're on TNT playing against like the Lakers or somebody. But now that there's more eyes on them, especially with the playoffs, they locked down the number 2 seed, and there's still like 6 games left in the season. So I think there's going to be a lot more eyes, and I think they'll probably get in the public perception a little bit more respect.
Yeah. Do you agree with this take, Rios, or?
Absolutely not.
I don't either. I disagree completely too. I think they have a nucleus. It's just like there's no like shining name that's going to jump out at you and say that's the guy that's going to carry you. So I'll put this explanation. I've seen it in the last 2 games, and like him or not, LeBron James is almost impossible to stop in the postseason.
Correct.
And that's what we're about to see. We're about to see him start doing that. And now he has Luka on his side with him that can do the same thing, take over a game and do that. And I think that's where people are looking at Houston like, who's that guy going to be? Who's going to be the guy they go to at the end of the game? Who's going to be that guy that's scoring 30 every game in the postseason? We don't know yet. There's 3 or 4 players that could be that guy. And then there's all the rumors about, well, next year they're going to add KD, and then they'll have that superstar with all the great players. And I don't know.
No, I have people that are close to the team, and those are just rumors. That's just national media rumors. They want to see how this young nucleus performs in the playoffs. If they make it to the Western Conference Finals, they are not messing up the chemistry. They're going to look to develop these guys even further.
And that's what I like to hear, too. It's like your team hasn't been anywhere near a championship for years, so you should be happy just making it to the Western Finals or just before that. That's humongous based on where you came from last year.
Exactly. The last few years. And look at the average starting age of the roster. Everyone's under the age of 23 except for Dylan Brooks, and he's still in his 20s.
Yep.
Their starting 5 is all under 23 except for Dylan Brooks.
Yeah. Sengun, I'm telling you, where is he now? Where is he ranked? Like, what, 15 to 20? I think this offseason he'll crack, like, closer to the top 10.
He's
definitely getting to it.
If he can
After
continue-
this year, I mean, last year I was Şengün. I thought he was going to be the breakout guy, but after seeing this year, I think it might be Amen Thompson. I think Amen Thompson might be the breakout guy.
I think he's
that
going to
ends
be like the superstar of the group. I think
Yeah,
Jalen Green and Şengün will be all-star level players, but I think
Yes.
Amen Thompson, he's going to be like a superstar, like close to a mega star. Like
that's why to
man.
go against my argument, I don't really think they need to go get a KD, because the more you play together, the more you become a better unit together over the years, and you get to know your players a little better, and those players do develop. Let's go back to the argument we talk about every week here on this show. These are babies coming into the league, and like you just said, almost all of them are under 23, so you have a bright future. Now, whether they put in, I think it really does, like Rios just says, it's very determinant on how far they go in the playoffs. If they go to the Western Finals and lose, or just before that and lose, I think you keep the team as well as you can, get a draft pick, maybe a free agent, a veteran or something, keep the team the way it is, let Amen Thompson become that superstar. If they lose in the first round, then you'll hear dissension. Should they go get a superstar? Maybe they're not good enough. And I think we got that same argument with the teams I'm suspect with. Cavs and Thunder, the teams have been on top all year. Until we see them do it in the postseason, I'm not buying into it completely yet, because the end goal is to get to a championship for everybody.
To me, it's kind of reminiscent of like when the Houston Duke game. The Houston Cougars, they've been to the ringer. They've battle tested. Duke, they've pretty much coasted throughout the regular season and the tournament. And when they face a little bit of adversity, they realize, okay, it's not going to be as easy as we thought. Like all the analysts, they all picked Duke to win easily. And we saw that was not the case.
I was happy they lost.
So was I, but then this goes into Blaze's take a while back about Cooper Flag being clutch. Is he that guy that can get him over the hump when the time matters most? We haven't seen that yet.
Jury's still out for me.
He's an 18, 19-year-old kid. I wasn't expecting him to be
I'm
there.
just saying, we still haven't seen it.
But with that, though, we put so much on these young kids that, you know what, they haven't, like you said, they haven't, like Blaze's point, they haven't done it as yet. So what makes you think that they're clutch? Not saying they can't be, but why are people think because they're the projected number 1 overall draft pick? What's up, Leaf?
What's up, Leaf? How's it going, man?
No, I mean, you got to earn that. You got to earn that. So Michael Jordan had to earn it, and he, when his moment came at Carolina, he hit the clutch shot, and that's where it started to begin. So Cooper Flag, I mean, I know he's the projected number 1 overall draft pick. I get it, but
the Atlantic Division.
Oh, we got Houston.
No, we got Houston here.
We got
Houston.
I really think Cooper Flag should come back another year. I really do. I mean, I don't think he's going to, but
it depends.
I really think
it depends if the Wizards are. It depends if Wizards and Utah are the number 1 overall pick. It depends.
Yeah, but don't they have to decide before that? It's coming up close now that they have to make. Am I correct, or
I think
the draft lottery? When is it? Next month?
Yeah, I thought it was next month, and they have to decide this month to.
I don't think you wait for the lottery and then decide if you're going to declare or not.
I was joking because I didn't.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I was joking because the Wizards suck and so do Utah.
I mean, I'm still thinking with his skill set, he could be a very valuable NBA player. He's not like, I don't like comparing or looking at their play in high school, because you're playing against kids that shouldn't be. Some of them that just wanted to be on the basketball team, or they have no goal of continuing their career in basketball into college or anything. They're just want to be on the team to get laid or something, or just to sit on the bench and be cool, have a uniform. You can't really compare that, because you're talking about 5 or 6 players way up here, and then all the rest of the high school players.
Well, Leaf, the toilet papers can come up here too. I mean, you're a fan of the toilet paper, so hey. Let me stop letting you, my brother-in-law. Love you, Leaf. Love you, bro.
Well, technically, their team is. Wait, are they lower than us, or I don't even know what team Brooklyn Nets.
Right now, you're projected, I think, 6th, and they're 7th, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought we were 5th.
Or I know they're behind you.
Yeah, I saw that last night.
Who's a tangerine? Who's a tangerine?
He says that for the Knicks.
He's like,
so who am I, the Rockhead or the Clover? I know he's a Rockhead. Why am I a Clover?
No, he does, because he thinks you're a Celtic fan.
Oh no,
you're a Sixers fan.
I'm an NBA fan, brother. I just got my postseason up behind me right here. The
I
East
just
and the
realized
West.
that. I just realized that. Oh wow. I
Well, at
just
least
realized
the top four. I mean, there's
that.
more in there.
We've already been investigated. We already have.
For what?
So, resting healthy players.
No, I'm being sarcastic. What are you
I know.
going to investigate them for? So what?
Tank.
They can.
Process,
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it's not getting
Not going that way.
Not my type of conversation.
This is not
It's
giving
not
me
mine.
the draft.
All right, so next up, Dwight Howard gets inducted to the Hall of Fame along with Carmelo Anthony.
Shaq's gonna walk him up. Shaq's
Yeah.
walking Dwight Howard up.
Mhm.
that would be hilarious.
That's actually happening, right?
That's what I
Oh
heard.
wow, I thought he was just trolling. On that, but deserving? I think very much will be. I think I said it like last week or 2 weeks ago. I said that Dwight Howard should get inducted because of his time with the Orlando before all the back
Mhm.
injuries. He is
Here's
a
the thing about
champion.
Dwight Howard, though. You could inject him into any NBA team, and he's still good.
It's 5 and 6. Yeah, Philly is 5 and Brooklyn is 6.
Yay, we're garbage. Yeah,
Deserve it. I mean,
yeah.
during his time with the Magic, he was one of the top 5 most dominant players in the NBA. I mean, his Magic upset the number 1 Cavaliers when LeBron was there. I mean, the guy can play, man. He deservedly so. He was a force on both ends of the court.
Yep.
It's just those
Yeah.
back injuries, they took a toll on him, but he was a force. Even in his brief time with Houston, he was still a force on both ends of the court.
So yeah, he had a couple years where he averaged.
Average what? Oh,
I thought it was a couple.
He was
Numbers. I was looking at minutes. I was like, holy shit, he averaged over 30 points. That many
did
seasons.
you know he's actually going to play in the Big 3 tournament? He's actually going to play in the Big 3, and Nick Young is his coach.
So he pretty much averaged a double his whole career.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
Because
one of
his
the-
first 4 years, Lakers,
of course I do,
Sixers,
Chad. Of
Lakers,
course I do.
or his last 4 years. I'm sorry, he didn't. But every year before that, 18 all the way back, he's had at least 10 rebounds a game average for the season.
How many times did he win Defensive Player of the Year?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Twice?
12,
Twice?
13.
I think so.
I think
He has
it
a
was-
career average of 11.8 rebounds a game.
And it's just,
I mean, honestly, if him and James Harden could have found a way to coexist, they could have won at least one championship.
yeah.
They could have found a way to coexist, but I mean, that's just the James Harden experience.
Yeah. Same with the Dwight Howard experience, too. How many teams has Dwight Howard been on?
Lakers, Sixers, Wizards, Hornets, Hawks, Rockets, Magic.
Yeah, he's gotten around.
Yeah. Oh my God. What is that? 6 teams? 7?
So his first 8 years were with the Magic. 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams.
7. Crazy.
I think the biggest knock on Dwight Howard is just not the greatest. He was on the Magic. He was the best player, but he wasn't the best of leaders. Very immature when it came to the Rockets. You got the immature Dwight Howard. You have an even more immature James Harden. It just wasn't a good recipe. I think it took him a long time to finally grow up.
Huh? I'm looking up the Hall of Fame class right now.
Did you look at when you got Melo? You got Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Here, I got it. You got
Won the Player of the Year 2008, 2009, 2010.
Yep, Dwight Howard is finally in after he got snubbed for the 70s. I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
What
should've
team did you say he played for again?
What's that?
What teams did you say he played for again?
Lakers, Sixers, Wizards, Hornets, Hawks, Rockets, Magic.
18. Okay. 7 teams. Okay.
He had 2 stints to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I forgot he even played for Philly that 1 year.
Yeah, he played for us for the 1 year. He's a
Guess how many
champion.
games? Guess how many games he played that year, Mitch?
69.
You got it. Congratulations.
Hey!
59 2 years with the Lakers and the Sixers back to back.
And you know who else got snubbed from the 75th team? Tony Parker. Tony Parker didn't make it either. It still kind of bothers me a little bit. He's one of my favorite point guards of all time.
Hey, Ron Jeremy. Haven't seen him in a while.
Jeremy, what are the odds?
Talk about
What are the
69.
odds?
Ron Jeremy comes back into the. It's been like a year or so since we've seen you.
I know, right? Billy Donovan is going into the Hall of Fame. Yes,
Is he going in because of Florida?
I
As the
think
head
so.
coach?
Yeah.
I think that's what he's getting in for.
So for the WNBA players, you got Sue Bird, Maya Morris, Sylvia Fowles, coach Billy Donovan, contributor Mickey Arison, and longtime NBA referee Danny Crawford.
Wow.
Danny Crawford.
And the 2008 USA Men's Olympic team.
You know, one that's not going to make it, Scott Foster. There is a God, he will not make the Hall of Fame.
He would not. I don't see him ever going into the Hall of Fame. I don't see it.
That'll be my 13th reason he makes the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chad. He did play for the Pittsburgh Sixers. There you go, Blaze. Yeah. What is up, David? What is up, man? But yeah, the Hall of Fame class is good. I can't wait for that. It's one of my favorite times of the year, seeing these guys get inducted. I just want to be at the NBA Hall of Fame. I haven't been there yet. That's one of my bucket list. I want to get to the NBA Hall of Fame. I already saw the MLB Hall of Fame. I was there. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a drive for you. It's a hop, skip, and a jump, really.
I know.
Yeah, you're closest out of all of us.
Right. Right.
No, I'm closer than he is.
Is he? Oh, okay.
I'm in North Jersey.
I'm in South, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So to get to Massachusetts for me, it's like maybe 3-4 hours.
Yeah, that's about right. It's like five hours for us, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
Close.
That makes sense. So, all right, Blaze, you ready?
Really? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The Nuggets. Oh wait, go ahead, Coach. Go for it.
No, I was joking. I say you're closer to Philly than I am.
Yeah. Nuggets fire.
Drive in Texas for 6 hours, you're still in Texas. You drive for 11 hours, you're still in Texas.
One of my
I can get through Texas in probably an hour or two.
One of my best friends and his wife, they started out in Maryland. They're in New Mexico right now. They're about to go to California at the end of the month. And I'm like, dang, that is crazy. But the Nuggets fired head coach Mike Malone and their general manager. Blaze, go for it.
Well, the first thing is the same reaction that a lot of people had was why, and oh my goodness, and all of a sudden in their 4th place and this and that. So I definitely wanted to watch them talk about it and see what was behind it. Like, what was the why? What was the thought about it? And from what I hear, they were going to get rid of him after the season anyway. What the fear was is if Joker comes out and does tremendous in the playoffs and they make a run to the Western Finals or even the finals, then they're looking at how can you fire this coach? And this is all from Brian Windhurst. When I heard him yesterday, this is just his thoughts. He thinks that's part of it, that if they do make a run, it's going to be more difficult to get rid of a coach when you just made a run to the finals or the Western Conference Finals or whatever, which is still a stretch. But, they're not playing well right now. So they figured strike while the iron's hot, get rid of him now while they're on a little slump. It doesn't make tons of sense for me. But the more I dug into it, I think this is the underlying problem. The GM and the coach didn't get along. They didn't like each other.
Yeah.
They never talked to each other. So it's like, that's a culture problem. Now you have a GM and a coach that are on the same page. So you have to make a move. And from what they were saying on ESPN yesterday was this is a proactive move instead of waiting, because then it's a little tougher to fire the head coach if they make a run. So I kind of understand that, because the big question was, why do you fire a coach when you're in 4th place, when you just won a championship 2 years ago? It's like, so the questions were out there, and that's part of it. Here's another part. I think they're doing it to keep Joker in Denver, because all the talk, look what happened. As soon as the talk was the coach and the GM are gone, all this talk about where's Joker going in the offseason starts. You see him in a Laker jersey. You see him here. You see him there. You see him here. He's going to go here to play with Luka. He's going to go there to play with this guy. And it's like, I think, and I don't know the entire story, just from what I saw, it's damage control. Get rid of him now because we got to take care of the GM too, because these two aren't getting along. And it's a whole culture shift, because now you're going to add a new GM and a new manager to manage them on the court. That's a huge shakeup for a professional team right before the playoffs, which is so weird. That's why everyone's like, for the first day, all I saw everyone was like, why? But now more of it comes out, makes a little more sense to me. I mean, he's still a well sought after coach. I mean, I just think that the Cinderella story wore off. It just doesn't work there anymore, because you don't make a move like this unless it's something serious, unless it's something that was an issue behind the scenes. And obviously reading more into it, finding out that these two didn't, it's not like your GM and your manager aren't getting together and working together. That's a problem for an organization. So they figure, while we still have Joker on the team and not wait until after the season and then just rehaul the whole team, let's try to keep Joker, get rid of the management. And I'm sure, which comes with any team, the superstar is going to have, some kind of input or say on what direction he would like them to go. Whether they do it or not, it's a whole different story. But I think this is a move to save the future instead of, like I said, I don't know the whole story too. I'm just talking from what I learned the last 2 days after hearing this from them talking on TV. So dissension within your GM and your manager, do something before you lose your franchise player and, who knows what else. So I think it's trying to fix it before it falls apart worse, I guess. But when you have someone like Joker, I mean, does he have the supporting cast he had 2 years ago? No. Does he have a lot of the role players he had 2 years ago that could still do well and maybe help them go through a little bit of the playoffs? Possibly. But the jury's still out on that. I mean, the West is so heavy balanced. There's so many great teams over there. It'll be tough for them to make a run. But let's go back to the guy we're talking about. What has he been doing recently on the court? Even when they're losing and not doing well, he's tremendous. Like, the dude could put one arm behind his back and probably still get a triple-double. So I'm torn between this, because I want the Nuggets to play their best ability and make that West even more competitive. But when you just lose your manager and your GM, I don't care who you got on your team, that's going to be tough to pull it together. Because you see the other day, yesterday or last night, Jokic has the damn whiteboard on the bench drawing up plays. Now, is that a good thing to have a player that was willing to do that? Yes. That's the coach that should be doing that. That's the manager. And when you just got rid of him, now you have to figure out a piece to that puzzle that's going to fit back into place, keep Joker happy, keep the main parts of that team there so they don't have to completely rebuild. It's kind of like it's a mess, but not really, because they're still in competition in the West. So it's a very strange situation.
There's also another thing here, Blades, that you didn't bring up. The injuries that they have. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., those guys weren't exactly healthy for a majority of the season. So there's another take into that as well.
That's half the NBA this year, man.
That's half an NBA, yeah.
Something else also for the fun I've been reading is, besides the I guess kind of like the general manager and the coach not getting along and talking about each other behind each other's backs, a lot of the players didn't like the treatment that Russell Westbrook got. Like, he was getting preferential treatment, and he was one, not playing very great. Two, it just got there. Like, from what I've read, it's rubbed a lot of the players the wrong way, because what? It's one thing if Jamal Murray or Joker gets preferential treatment because they've been there. They've league MVP.
Seniority, yeah.
Yeah, like they put in the time. They've been there. They are playing at a high level. Versus Russell Westbrook, who's not playing very well, is towards the twilight years of his career, but still getting preferential treatment from the coach. I can see how that rubs some people the wrong way, especially when he's not playing well. If he was playing great, that'd be one thing. But if he's not playing well, it's just like, why is this guy getting special treatment?
And then, Coach, if you want to go, then I'll go after you.
Hearing that you're firing a coach, if true, you're firing a coach because you don't want him to go on a run and do well and win. And
Well,
win.
no, the way they were saying is they were already planning on getting rid of him. At the
No,
end of the
I
season.
understood that. I understood that. That's why I said
It sounds ass
it's
backwards,
true.
though. I know where you're going with it. To want someone to fail or not want them to succeed if they stay sounds really weird. So go ahead, Coach.
I'm just saying, for me, when I hear a rumor like that if it's true, number one, Denver, if it's true, you lost my respect completely. You're a joke of an organization because you compete. Plain and simple, you compete. That's what you're getting these players in the league for. They want to compete. That's why you coach. Whether you like the look in life, you're going to have people who don't like each other. But
I
you
think
work
it's more
together.
I think it's cracks in the pavement. I think they saw the cracks in the pavement and they're afraid. They got a great coach and a good GM. They're just not working well together. And I don't think they fired him just because of that. I think this is, from what I know, which I don't know everything, this is something that's been building up. And if they didn't make the playoffs, he'd have been gone day one. So they're getting rid of him at the end of the season. That was just from Windhorse's take as what he was thinking.
I get that. And that's what I'm saying.
And I'm with you on it. I would lose total respect if that's the only reason they're getting rid of him.
First, well, also, why even put this story out there? You know, as a journalist, because that was my other point. As a journalist, if you don't know it's true, then don't put that out there. That's something you don't put out there. You just don't, because that's an attack on the integrity of the sport. I'm sorry, to me it is, because you're saying that, well, if the coach does well and they go on this run, then you have to keep him. Now, I'm like Blaze. I don't know all the facts, but I'm just saying, to put this out there, that's a slap. As a journalist, that's a slap. Why are you putting that out there? Because you just want to get takes. You want clicks and all that other shit. Excuse my language. And if it's true, then that's a major discredit to the sport of basketball and everything that we have ever, as athletes, as coaches, that we have ever been trained to do. It's to compete and try to win. Forget all that other stuff. If y'all don't like each other, you know what? Then y'all either need to work it out, or guess what?
Yeah.
At the end of the season, look, we just don't get along. We fire. Even if you win a championship, one of them got to go. One of them got to go if it's that bad. But you do it at the end of the season, not now. This is why I'm saying this is a joke, because you're doing this now, and because he's supposedly giving Russell Westbrook preferential treatment. Every coach has a favorite player, and they do give special treatment to him. Sorry, they do. Any coach who
Kyle
says,
Lowry. Yep.
Any coach who says no, he doesn't. I treat everyone fair. Yeah, you treat everyone fair to a certain level, but everyone, there's a certain level that they're in, and you give certain people a certain amount of autonomy. And if he can pick up the system, whatever it is, he can be the leader. He can hold guys accountable. I don't know why he likes Russell Westbrook more than anybody else, but that's the reality. And you just got to deal with it. And if you've been an athlete, you know that stuff is going to happen.
Yep.
So, you know what? To right now, you let it play out. You know, to the sports writers who put this out there, me, as a journalist, no, I wouldn't even do it. I don't care. I don't care unless I have the facts. I know for a fact that is true. Then I report the truth. But a rumor, you're a joke of a reporter. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's Stephen A. or anyone. You put that out there and you don't have all the facts. You're putting out rumors. Then, as a journalist, you're failing to do your job completely. Because, like us as fans and trying to figure out, we don't know. So we're just going to go on what we're saying, what we're hearing, and what we're reading, and we're going to comment on that. It to me is just.
So, like, one of the things that they did bring up yesterday was the dissension between the GM and the coach was that Malone wanted to succeed with the veteran players and Booth wanted to go with younger talent. So that was, I guess, one of the things that that between the two. I think there's a lot more to it. Definitely, if your GM and your coach doesn't get along, that can be a problem. But I really think, from what I know, because I like like Coach says, we don't know all the details, and I don't think we really need to. I think there's more to it. Otherwise, they would have done like you said, Coach. Win or lose, they get rid of him at the end of the year.
Exactly.
Let the season play out and then get rid of it. So I think there's more to it. I don't think we're privy to really need to know, but I'm a benefit of a doubt type of person. I think that the culture was so disoriented there that they had to make the move now. That's what I take from it. Like, otherwise, why not wait till the end of the season? You know, it's like,
Then
it's very
where
weird.
they're getting the story that they're doing it because he doesn't want him to go on a run and do well, and then you're forced to keep him.
I think that was just the back end of it. The front end of it is the GM and coach aren't working well together. It's dissension. It's going to fall apart. The big what if is, if we don't get rid of him now and we do make a run, will the fans revolt against us because we got rid of their coach that just took us to the Western Finals? I guess I could kind of understand that. I don't agree with it, but I understand where they're coming from. I just think there's a lot more to this story than we know.
I can provide an example. I'm gonna go with the different sport. The Astros, when they won it in 2022, and they fired their general manager right after winning the World Series. There was rumors that he didn't get along with the owner and with the rest of the management, and they wanted to get rid of him, but they stuck with him and they won it. But they still fired him at the end of after they won the World Series, because at the end of the day, it should be about winning championships.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares about your feelings? Like, do your job, win a championship, and then, hey, you know what? He's like,
but I mean, but it's a crossroads. It's like, if you're at a point, here's my take from why they did it would have been, throughout this year, there was red flags flying up every once in a while. I guess this is how I would imagine it would come to this. It's not just like, fuck it, get rid of both of them. I think it was throughout the season, they're seeing holes and problems and issues, maybe differences of opinion between the two that could be worked out. But maybe at this point in the season, they're like, because there's no other reason. Why else would you get rid of a coach that's won a championship, a GM that's helped you? I mean, there had to be so much more to it to make them say, we have no choice but to just do it now and hope the best comes out of it. And I think a lot of it does revolve around the main player, Joker, and the injuries that they had while they're, to try to make sure they don't lose Joker. Because if you're a Denver fan and they do something to screw up the end of the season and Joker's gone, then you're rehauling your whole team. If you can do something to keep Joker there, that's going to make people want to come play there. Because as long as you got Joker, you got an opportunity to win a championship.
Do the opposite what the Mavericks did, because they're projected to lose 9 figures for the next few years. I mean, how the fuck do you do that?
So, I mean, it's a very unique situation. It does raise a lot of eyebrows whenever someone gets fired that's won a championship 2 years ago, and someone who's going into the postseason with home court advantage. It's like, it doesn't make sense. But as soon as you hear that, you're like, there has to be more reason. They're not going to overhaul their management team, which you're doing with those two. You're overhauling everybody. Because when you bring in a new coach, he might want different assistants. You bring in a new GM, he might want a different head coach. So it's where do they go now?
Don't forget, the Memphis Grizzlies let go of their head coach just a couple weeks ago. I'm not saying it's the same scenario or anything. It's just like, it's weird that 2 teams let their coaches and or GM go within like a week.
It's a sad state of sports that coaches' jobs are not secure the way they are the way they used to be. That's just my opinion. It's just like the turnover in coaches in every major sport is absolutely ridiculous to me, because some of those times you get a coach come in, have to take over for players that he didn't draft, players that he didn't bring in. And then if he fails that first year, he's gone. Like, how is that his fucking fault? Like, sometimes I think it might be, but overall the amount of turnover we get I can't really speak for baseball, but football and basketball, I can speak for. The amount of turnover in coaches year to year is just, I'd like to really I've never looked at the numbers, but I'd like to see, like, every year, how many teams lose their coach.
In football, you're probably losing anywhere from 5, average of 5 or maybe 6 coaches every year.
That's insane to me, because of the amount of work that a coach puts in to try to make their team successful. I don't think it's fair to a coach, unless it's extenuating circumstances, to give them 1 year to do it. You know what I mean? Because then because recruiting's part of it, bringing in your own culture, trying to change the culture that was there before you, getting players to respect you is tough nowadays as a coach or a GM, because these players are making 20 times more than you do. So it's like, I get it. It's frustrating, but it's just, I don't look for the answers. I don't want the answers. It just boggles my mind how teams are so quick to be like, just get a new coach. Fire the coach. Fire the coach. You know, we didn't make it where we should have gone this year. Fire the coach. Like, I get it. That's where a lot of it stems from. But is that always the first answer? It's crazy.
Yes. I can tell you by our fan base, please.
But
Look at your Eagles. Last year, you guys lost 3 games at the end of the season in your first playoff game. Everybody wanted to fire the GM and the coach. Now they're the best GM and the coach in the world.
Yeah.
That's what 1 year can do. Like, what are we doing, people? Is the respect for coaches completely out the window now? Or are they that interchangeable?
Blaze, I'm going to tell you, yes, it is. Because, I mean, even at the youth football level, seriously, or youth sports level, you have parents who are attacking coaches. First of all, these coaches are volunteers, and they're out there coaching your kid and helping your kid get a love for the game. Now, I'm not talking about the ones who abuse their authority. I'm talking about those who, you know what? It's hard. They make bad decisions sometimes. You lose a game. Okay, but that's the problem. We don't have respect for coaches. We don't have respect for certain elements in leadership, especially in sports, because it's all about the winning. And I get it. It's all about the winning, but it's not about, you said it earlier, about the culture. It's not about the culture. It's not about true development. Blaze and I can go back to and Rios can go back to the year where quarterbacks came in and you sat a year or two before you saw the field.
Yep.
Because you had to learn the game, and you've lost that now because everyone wants to win so fast. You want to get these young players in. You talk about, they're getting less money initially, so you want to take advantage of that opportunity and their youthfulness to try and win. And when it doesn't happen, you blame the coach, where sometimes it's not the coach. Sometimes it's the owner, Cleveland. Sometimes it's the general manager. Sometimes it's all 3 of them. So, but who's the one who gets the blame? It is the coach. It is, because the coach is the scapegoat. It's the easy person. And what I'm afraid of is somewhere down the line, you're going to lose coaches. You're going to lose quality coaches, or you're going to lose people who want to coach.
Yeah, people. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to coach kids nowadays.
Exactly.
I don't want to coach these kids. And like you just said, the parents are a big thing too, especially in high school. Because if you got the parent that has the star player, then you got to deal with that parent more, because that parent has the star player.
Oh, it's at every level. Every level. When my niece started playing soccer at 6, you had these parents there with you yelling the most obscene things at the coach. It was playing like, your kid's built like a tank is not very good. There's a reason they're not out there. Like,
I mean, that's kind of always been there. I remember my buddy who his dad was the coach of the baseball team. He was the star pitcher. The pitcher was not doing well. His dad, as the coach, went out onto the field and drug his son off the field, yelling and screaming at him. His fatherly instincts kicked in more than his dad and his coaching. Instead of just being a coach and doing the right thing as a coach, he turned into a dad as well. And then that, because a lot of coaches, let's be real, in elementary, grade school, high school, they've got a kid involved. Most of them are coaching because their kids coming up or their kids in the system, so that's all. That type of nepotism and that type of stuff's always going to be there. But it's very saddening to me in the sports world that respect for coaches and referees are at an all-time low.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? Did you guys see the movie Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
It might give the ball to the Italians. Everyone else sucks.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. God, I love that movie. I can watch that any time of the week. But so Really quick before we go into predictions.
What
the
about you,
Phoenix
Mitch? What's your take on the Malone thing? You didn't even say your side.
Suns-
I want to know what
Like-
you think about it. Firing a coach when you're in fourth place. You just won a title 2 years ago. You got one of the best players in the world.
there
What's your
had
take
to been there had to been more to the story. There definitely had to been more, like backstage, like in the locker room, no communication whatsoever. The players were not liking it at all, and Jokic, you could see him like on the bench a couple weeks ago, or a couple games ago rather. He was like going off on the bench. He was like, "What is going on here? This is not what I signed on for." And then that was when they made a move. I
Hey.
just can't stand when there's like a superstar, that kind of talent. It's like, I don't want you here. You're gone. I think that's what happened with John Moran and Taylor Jenkins. John Moran's stats were down this year. It's
I-
like, Taylor Jenkins, you're gone. Like, I'm
I
getting
think that
tired of
has a part of it. It's a big part of it, but I don't think that's the whole thing. Like I don't think it's these players going to their coach or going
No,
to the
that-
GM over and saying get rid of that coach. But I agree with you. I agree with you, and it does come. That's why I brought up Joker earlier.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure he will have a say in the process of finding the next coach. Like they're just going to use the assistant for now. But you're hearing all these rumors now on why wouldn't you want to go coach Joker in Denver with a team that just won a title 2 years ago
It's-
and shitloads of talent. So I expect a lot of coaches would want to go there. But like, here's the thing I'm thinking of. Like you got a GM and you got a coach. Like Coach Ed said earlier, you got to make that work. If they're not getting along, find a way. But if it's just consistently and it seems to be getting worse, I think that had to be what it is for them to step in and be like, we can't let this get any worse. We're going to lose players. They're not going to play here. No one's going to want to come here. They're going to go to the coach and hear one thing, go to the GM and hear something different. And that's a problem. It's like, and then the player's like, who do I go to? Do I go to a coach or do I go to the GM? I'm hearing two different stories. So I think before the building crumbles, they're trying to save it, like I said earlier. But
And I'm just going to say this really quick, and then that's the end of my take on it. Mike Malone is fired. He's not going to be a great coach for every single organization out there. Like, Sixers fans want Mike Malone. This team, the Phoenix Suns fans probably want Mike Malone over there. It's not going to work. There's no guarantee. Thibodeau and the Knicks. Thibodeau and the Knicks. My point exactly. It's not going to work for every single team in their situation. So to me, it's just like, I'm excited to see where Michael Malone ends up. Same with Taylor Jenkins.
I have to believe, I could be completely wrong, but I have
Joe
to believe.
Hendry?
I have to believe, but I could be completely wrong, that the Nuggets tried to mend this fence throughout this season, and now they're fed up. That's kind of the conclusion that I have to draw at this point. That I can't imagine that a corporation that would see a possible issue with the GM and coach never sit them down all year or never try to mend it. I have to believe that they tried things within the year, and now that they're on a little slide right before the playoffs, they lost 4 in a row, that they're like, we might have to act now instead of waiting.
Yeah.
And it's a strange situation.
Yeah.
It was an accumulation of things over the last couple of years, and I think it finally came to a head this season.
Yeah.
But like we're all saying, there's more to the story that we're not going to hear, and we just got to move on from it.
Yeah. So let's move on from it. I wish TRL was here. His Phoenix Suns got eliminated from the playoff contentions, and now the fans are in an uproar. What will be the first move that they should make? For me, it's Bradley Beal. That's any possible.
But yeah, if they can, it would be Beal. I would
That's
say
my-
too. But
that's
it's going
my
to be
point.
KD. It's going to be KD.
It's-
KD's going somewhere else after the year. It's just
Oh,
a
yeah,
matter
I
of
see
where.
it.
Just a matter of where. It could be Philly. It could be Houston. It could be LA. It could be. There's a bunch of places it could be. It could be Dallas. There's already talk of teaming him up with AD and Kyrie.
I would not mind that. Like, honestly, I would not mind that.
It's a hell of a
But-
big three. I like all three of them. It's just KD still has a lot left in the tank, I think. I mean, and he's never been he's been a great player for a long time, but it's like, look at his big threes he's had, and none of them have worked. Go back to Houston, then go to the Nets. Everywhere he's gone, he's had a big three, it seems. You know what I mean? And D Book seems like the one that's going to end up staying there, but he's the one that I would love to see
I
go
feel
somewhere.
so bad for Booker. So bad.
I love his game. It's not just because he's a Kentucky boy either. I love him.
Yes,
I've
it
always
is.
loved his
Yes,
game.
it is.
Smooth, smooth game from top to bottom, and to see him have to deal with this shit for the past 3 years
That's
in
tough.
that mess. And you got to make a move. You got to. I mean, there's no way. Like, let's talk about the Suns and the Sixers right now going into next year. Both teams dealt with big injuries. Both teams dealt with futility this year, not making the playoffs when they were supposed to be in contention to maybe run for a title if they're all healthy. That didn't happen to either team. So it's like, how do you fix that? I think it's two different scenarios. I think the Sixers come back, bringing everybody back and trying it again. I think the Suns, yeah. I think the Suns are going to look to overhaul it. And I think Book will stay, but I wouldn't be surprised if KD and Beal are gone. But I mean, getting someone to take Beal's contract is going to be tough.
I mean, and the Rockets have their pick. So.
And we go back to what me and Coach have talked about for so long. Let's start paying these people off of their performance, not what we think they can do. That's the biggest problem in sports, I think, right now. Is you're going to sign someone for a 5-year contract, hoping that they're going to do that for the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't always work out that way. I heard I forget who it was that said it. It was on NBA Today earlier today that they would love to see contracts in college. You come into in college, you sign a 3-year contract. That means you're staying here for 3 years with an option for a 4th. And you give them contracts like professional athletes get contracts. When you now recruit this freshman, you're gonna sign him to a 1, a 2, or a 3-year contract with an option for an extra year or whatever, and that's going to matter. Like I wouldn't pay someone in 3 years. You don't know what's going to happen, but if you can get them locked into a 3-year contract, I'm not against that. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of details need to be worked out, just like NIL and all that, and the transfer portal. But I think that would help a lot if they're going to be signed into contracts when they go into the NBA. I think we should be able to hold them responsible for a certain amount of time in college now.
But do you do that to the other students? Do you force them to start into a contract?
Yeah, everyone should be in a 1-year contract when they go into college. The bigger players, obviously. Yeah, the bigger players would be in to try to get more money for a longer haul, and they would try to get a bigger player. The colleges would want to lock in that player for 3 years instead of 1, because then as a college, I'm the guy running Duke. I know I got Cooper Flagg for 3 years now instead of just 1. Now I can plan ahead. Now I can get merchandise.
You take out the transfer portal.
Well, that can still be there, but that's got to be in the contracts. Like after a year or 2, can you enter the transfer? It has to be part of the contract.
But that's what I mean. Be able to enter, they have to stay with you more than 1 year. Basically, what you're saying, but that takes the transfer portal in a sense out of the equation.
Yes, if he's a 3-year contract and there's no transfer portal clause in your contract, he's stuck there for 3 years. There's no transfer portal for that guy. Now, if he wants it, you got to put it in the wording of the contract. Because right now, it's kind of weird because they should be treated like professionals, because you can't hold them accountable for anything right now. They can go to a different team if they want. They can quit if they want. They can go into the pros early. And we're not talking about every college player, because every college player isn't going to be an NBA player.
Well, see, I'm looking at college, not just basketball. I'm looking at football. Now, baseball does if you go baseball, you have to go 3 years in college. They do that, but that's also because they can get drafted at 18 and they can go play pro ball. So I get that aspect, but they don't take out the transfer, because don't forget, coaches sometimes, you go to a school a lot of times because of a coach. So if that coach leaves and you're saying, based on what you're saying, well, you got a contract, so you're stuck for 3 years. No,
unless you work that in your contract, that if the coach leaves, you can go. That would be part of the contract.
Okay.
Right now, we don't have any legal ramifications to hold these kids to anything. They could do pretty much whatever they want. Our team sucks. I'm going to Colorado next year. Oh, I didn't get to play in Colorado. I'm going to Florida next year.
Blaze, my Scarlet Knights are a prime example. You know what?
Yeah, wouldn't you love to lock those 2 guys in for 3 years?
It's not that, because Rutgers did not do a good job of surrounding them with the talent to make sure that they win better. They were a better team last year.
But if I'm a senior in high school and I know those 2 guys are staying in Rutgers next year, I'm going to consider Rutgers. But if I know they're gone after this year, I ain't going to even consider Rutgers.
Or you could say,
I could play for a national championship.
I can also say I'm not going there because they are there. It works both ways. I get
Yeah,
what
oh,
you're saying.
definitely.
I totally get what you're saying. The
But I'm
issue
talking about
I
the
have,
middle level players would want to go play
and
with
that's
them
and that's where the
as
contract
opposed to
comes into
the
play, because you can't just do it just for a higher level versus a lower level for a
no, they'd all get
middle,
them.
and that's
They'd
the
be
problem.
structured different. They'd be structured very different because of
Mm,
the players that have the power. Because they're doing it now. Right now, they have the power to make the money and go to a different school. They call
yeah,
that. No
yeah,
one else
true.
calls that. It's the player. And I just think at this point, it goes back to the
But that's
coaching
where
and the
also,
respect,
and the
right back to all
NIL
that.
now. That's also the NIL. You got to have the money.
Yep.
If you don't have the money, then guess what? Because I could then come say a kid is looking to transfer. Well, what is it going to cost me extra to keep you to stay? And I'm gonna put that on the
Yeah.
table.
Yep.
Where a lot of schools now, because you know what, this kid can only get 500,000 at said school, but now another school's offering him 1 million, 2 million. Now he's gonna leave because guess what? He's getting more money.
And
And
that, as a person, like if I'm in charge of Duke and I can try to lock players in with a contract, I can try to avoid that problem.
Yeah.
Possibly. It's still going to be there. And there's no perfect example. I'm just saying I would not be against if they're trying to bring some kind of contract structure into college athletes. That's the next step. If you think about it, that's the next
I
step.
get it. I
They're
get
getting
it.
paid.
But then it just is so much. To me it opens up Pandora's box, because you also, based on what you're saying, because it's not, because you're talking about basketball and football to an extent, but what about lacrosse?
Yeah, I'm
What
mainly
about
just talking about
hockey?
basketball.
Exactly. But that's
I'm
the
mainly
point
just talking
where,
about basketball.
but that's the point when you talk about contracts, especially sports contracts, because now it's like it's a little, and especially at a college level, because don't forget, football pays a lot of the bills for a lot of these schools, where these other sports, they're getting their contracts because of the football program. So I get where you're going with the contract, but it's like, okay, you're locking these kids in, and they're just, first of all, they're just now getting the benefits of the money that for years when we were in school, we would have loved to have just a little bit of that money, just a little bit, where now these kids are starting to benefit, getting paid off of their name, image, and likeness, because the schools have been doing it for decades. I'm going to say not centuries, decades. So, and to me, when you talk contracts, yeah, I get it. People say they're professionals to a certain extent, but some of these kids who are going into the physics labs or whatever, or physics department or whatever, they're going to school because of that, and they get parts of the grants that are there, but then they can leave. So I say I get it. I understand.
Yeah, there's no exact science to it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if they would try to bring some type of contract
true
to the sports to try to alleviate the issues, I wouldn't be totally against it. But it would have to have shitloads of regulations. And you would have to have the wording in your contract if you're going to want to transfer. If you don't, or if you want that wording in there, it's got to be in there. So if I got a kid coming out of high school and he locks in for 3 years and he doesn't say anything about the transfer portal, tough shit. If he comes in and says, hey, I want to be able to transfer if coach, or if I change my mind, put it in the contract, put it in the writing of the contract. Simple as that. Now you have a legal document to back up this kid who, I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars, but you're also talking about the top tier in college, but there's thousands of other players in college that aren't going to any professional league.
Right.
It's a slippery slope, but I think we've talked about NIL and transfer portal needs more regulations. That could be one of the ways to help it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's just get right into predictions for tonight's games, even though it is what it is.
The thing that's wild about the West is that like that middle pack in the West can totally flip-flop in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Literally, someone can go from home court advantage to the play-in in
All
the next
right.
few days. It's pretty crazy.
Good game. Knicks and Pistons. I'm going to go Detroit on this one.
I'm going to Knicks.
I think Mitchell Robinson.
He's out, right?
Yeah, Mitchell. I think OG, and I think one more person is Josh Hart. I think are all out.
Yeah,
So I'm going Detroit.
I'm going Detroit too. Rios,
Detroit.
got it. Cavs at the Pacers. I'm going Cavs.
Pacers
Cavs.
are hot right now. Pacers at home. They're really hot right now.
Oh, now you're actually making predictions instead of all away teams.
I'm gonna go every other. So I'm gonna go
Every other. Okay, that's different.
and I'll
Rios.
take Atlanta over Brooklyn.
No, I'm gonna go Cleveland.
I'm gonna go with Atlanta over Brooklyn, even though I need Brooklyn to win. But
Atlanta.
I'm going with Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Hawks.
Coach.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Atlanta. All right. Pelicans at the Bucks.
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 I'm
Yeah,
going Bucks.
Ooh,
Minnesota and Memphis.
Minnesota.
ooh.
We're going Minnesota.
That's gonna be a good one.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a very fun game.
Timberwolves.
Huh?
I'm gonna go Timberwolves on that one.
Yeah, I'm going Timberwolves too.
I'm going
All right.
Memphis.
Oh, you're going Map? Oh, I like that. Okay. There's no right or wrong on this pick at
Mhm,
all.
mhm.
Like there's not.
After
This
after
game-
tonight, there will be a right or wrong.
I'm just
Yeah.
looking
And I'll be wrong. And I'll be wrong.
I'm looking forward to Jaws celebrations. Is it gonna
Oh
be a
my
good shot? It's gonna be a
God.
grenade.
The grenade was great. That was
Bazooka.
great.
Oh, I
Yeah,
missed
that's
that
good.
one. Oh, I missed that. Damn, I gotta go find it.
Who's this
But-
a grenade?
I know, but I missed it. But all right, guys. So there you go. Episode 117 of the Pick and Roll Podcast. We'll catch you all next week. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that sub, hit that notification bell, and yeah, we will see you guys next week. Peace, guys. Have a good one.